Hey folks, CA Rachna Ranade here, and I welcome you all to this live stream. As usual, I say this that when I'm getting a lot of inquiries, I just prefer doing a quick live stream rather than individually my team replying to each and every one. But whenever I come live, I just don't tell about any course or any webinar or whatever, because I feel that this is a time whenever I get a chance, I just update on what's happening in the market. So of course, I'm going to quickly also tell you that what is happening in the market, especially when it is about rupee. Indian rupee has gone down to an unfortunately an all-time low. We have seen some reactions from Mr. Trump, which says that there is a chance that he might stop the war, or is he planning to decrease the intensity of the war? What are all the highlights? All these points also we are going to understand today. It's not going to be a big stream, maximum 10-minute stream, but I will ensure that I tell about each and every point that I mentioned right now. But before I start with these points, there were a lot of inquiries, because of which I planned this quick live stream. I am having this webinar tomorrow. I'm going to conduct this webinar tomorrow, technical analysis using AI. It is going to be conducted tomorrow, 22nd March, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a 2 hours webinar. What will you learn here? How can you scan stocks intelligently instead of manually filtering charts? So if you have an indicator, let's say, if you have your own time frame, okay, let's say I want to use a daily time frame, and if I want RSI above whatever, and moving averages whatever. So if you have your own setup basically, then can you quickly scan charts? Can you quickly filter out charts? Is what I'm going to teach you. How can you do that using AI? I'm going to teach you how can you build your own technical analysis mentor who can review that whatever your study is, whatever analysis you have done, whether that is up to the mark or not, that mentor can rate you on something like out of 5 or whatever. I'm going to teach you how can you generate buy or sell signals directly on TradingView using AI powered Pine scripts. So just to give you a quick example, of course, last 3 months data is not here. The latest that you can see on screen is December 8th. But just to give you a quick example of what are you going to learn tomorrow. So for example, let's you get this. You got a buy call here. You are getting a sell call here. Again, you are getting buy a call. You are getting a buy call here. But how does this work? I mean, how did I put a label of buy and sell there? What were the conditions I used? All these things I'm going to teach you in the webinar. Not only am I going to teach that, I'm going to hand over the entire Pine script to you. So I'll just quickly show you if you want. So this is how the Pine code has been written for that. And just in case if you're like, Rachna, we don't know how to code, I'll tell you a secret. Even I don't know anything how to code, but I learned it using AI. We just need to know what output we want. We don't need to know how the coding needs to be done. I just need to know that if 1 2 3 4 conditions are met, then I want to buy. If 1 2 3 conditions are met, then I want to sell. Okay, so that's how this buy sell has been determined. So this is what you will learn in tomorrow's webinar. Or I love something which are such downward trending lines, right? So generally what we would have done, a normal alt T, and let's say I would have drawn this manually, right? That drawing an alt T, and from here to here I would have just quickly drawn this. Acha, I was like, why is it not coming up? 1 minute. Okay, so this I would have drawn manually, but ठीक है, I am pretty familiar with this. But for people who are not familiar with this, if you could get such downward trend lines with coding, again, if you can see, I've written a code for this. So you will learn how to do all these things. The coding again for these downward sloping trend lines. I am going to hand over the entire code to you all, to anyone who is going to attend the webinar. So no, alpha trader says, but this for this we need paid version of TradingView. Answer is no, you don't need a paid version for TradingView. Whatever I'm training, whatever webinar I'm going to conduct, all the insights can be used with free version of both, free version of TradingView, free version of ChatGPT. So be very clear with that whatever we are going to learn in this webinar, that will be useful for free version, number one. Number two, whenever I'm going to teach you how that buy and sell would work, that is nowhere close to a stock tip. I'm not saying that you have to buy at this level, you have to sell at that level, but if you want to generate your own signals, see, I'm trying to enable you on how can you code that entire thing. Okay, so I always say this, that how do you differentiate an educator versus someone who's trying to give you tips, right? A person who's giving you tips will feed you with a lot of FOMO. This is your last chance, buy it or you may lose it. Okay, versus an educator will ensure that enough curiosity is developed within you so that you try to learn by yourself and you upskill yourself. That's how there is a big difference between a normal educator versus someone who's just trying to influence you. uh, so I hope this is very clear about webinar. I'm getting some questions. What is the cost of this? I'm just going to quickly share my screen, and let me just share this with you again. So if you go to our website, you will get this as a pop-up. You just click on this. The cost is 2499. But what I'll do one thing. I'll also share a coupon code with you all so that you can get some additional discount. Whatever we are going to learn, can that be done through Claude also? Answer is yes. But whatever I have done this, uh, a lot of efforts have gone in that. Believe me, whatever Pine scripts I'm going to just directly hand over to you, it has taken more than 1.5 to 2 continuous days of effort. So me and my team, we have been just trying to iterate and reiterate, and whenever we get the final point, that is what we are going to hand over to you. So just ensure that you learn all these important points. Is this going to be in Marathi? Answer is no. This will be in English, but absolutely simple, plain English. So don't worry on that. That's the coupon code for you all. Physical classes not in Pune, but it will be held online for the benefit of everyone who wants to learn on how can you upskill yourself. Many people ask me, Rachna, can we learn it by ourselves? 100% you can. The only thing is that when you try to learn by yourself, maybe it will take, let's say, 100 hours. But the same thing, if someone has already given that effort, whatever were my learning outcomes, I'm just going to share that with you all in 2 hours. So are you going to save on time? 100% yes. Will it be easy for you to grasp? 100% yes. Okay. Any prerequisite? Yes. You need to know some basics about technical analysis. You need to understand something like, let's say, what's RSI. I'm not going to teach what is RSI. I'm not going to tell you what is a downward sloping trend line, what is a candle. So all these basic things you should be aware about. Okay. Second question is recording, question mark. Yes. Anyone who misses the class, or even if anyone wants to quickly revise this, we are going to share the recording with anyone who has enrolled for the webinar. We'll share the recording with you all. You can access it for 7 days. You can view it any number of times during those 7 days time frame. So it will be available with you. Okay. It will have no stock recommendations. No, not at all. If you're anyone who is planning to join only for recommendations, this is not for you, please. uh, if you're wanting to learn how to analyze your portfolio, that's a different session you are asking about. We are going to have because when it's about analyzing portfolio, I think it's more about fundamental analysis. So what you could do essentially is that you can visit our website, just go to this live webinar section, and you can see 3 webinars have been listed here. The one that you are talking about is more inclined towards fundamental analysis using AI. So if you're wanting to learn about how can you quickly review your portfolio, then this one will be more logical for you. And I could also see someone asking for futures and options. There is one simple option selling strategy, but again, how can we effectively use that without having loads of stress? With na ke barabar stress, can you implement an option selling strategy? That is what the by the way, all the first batches for all of these webinars were like full. We have a capacity of 500, and it was like a full house. I was not able to, in fact, this I have conducted last to last Sunday. There were so many people, at least 30-40 people were there who were trying to get themselves registered on the last day. But because I have a limited capacity of 500 people in the Zoom webinar, I was not able to help them with their enrollment, and that is the reason why I thought I should have one more webinar, and I'm going to conduct it tomorrow. So I've already shared what all things will be taught in the webinar. Anyone who wants to upskill themselves, this will be very, very important for you. Someone is also asking, will you teach fundamental and technical together? No, these are two different webinars, because I will not be able to give justice in 2 hours, right? 2 hours will be separately dedicated for technical analysis. 2 hours will be separately dedicated for fundamental analysis. Okay. All right. I think this is it. Oh, what changes if you are using AI? What changes is the speed at which you can complete your analysis. For example, if I'm talking about analyzing a company, uh, I would have earlier taken maybe one entire day to analyze a company, but now I can do that in like 1 or 2 hours. I think that's how uh, AI can help me to quickly speeden up my research process, right? Absolutely, yes, it can. Price action. Price action difference, ma'am. So I can say technical analysis is like a smaller chunk of the entire price action. Maybe if you're just asking me about difference between price action and technical analysis. Oh, how do you enroll? I'm going to give the link in the pinned comment in the description box. What I will also do is I'll just quickly share this right here also in the chat. Plus, I've already updated it in the description box. I'll also put it up in the pinned comment. You can definitely access in that. Uh, Anyone who has joined in late, because I can see a lot of people are joining in right now also. uh, the coupon, yes, that is the coupon code for you all. Someone is asking me, please send the code. The code is CARRYT. You can use this coupon code for some additional discount, right? Timing is 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a 2 hours webinar. Okay. Someone is asking how trading works. What's your advice? No advice will be given here. It will just be pure play on how can you upskill yourself, how can you use uh, how can you use this knowledge to speeden up your decision making process. Oh yes, that's what maybe you joined in late, Sunil. But again, for those who might have joined in late, just if I were to give you a quick like 10-15 seconds, how what do I mean by this? If I'm talking about, um, just a second, I'm just sharing my screen. So I was showing this to you. For example, these downward sloping trend lines. So, such downward sloping trend lines, typically when the correction is, let's say, around 30%, let's see how much this is 33%, right? So such downward sloping trend lines with good volumes are really powerful setups. Now, how will I be able to, if there are, let's say, 50 scripts in my portfolio, daily checking for this, or maybe even on a weekly basis checking for this? It could be tough for people who are doing a full-time job, or are enrolled for a very heavy college university course, or even are full-time businessmen or professionals. So it's for them. This is going to really ensure that all this time that you would have otherwise taken to identify where all the trend lines breakouts have happened, this I got using AI. And where did I use AI to actually code this entire thing? I don't know how to code. I'm a chartered accountant. Nowhere have I even learned even ABCs of coding, right? So this entire thing I got with AI, but how to have the logic of that basic coding is what I'm going to teach. Also, I gave this as an example. If I have certain rules for me, that if 1 2 3 4 happens, then buy call should be generated here. If 1 2 3 happen, then sell call should be. So how to code all these things, how to get it, this is what I'm going to teach you in the course. All the codes that I teach during the webinar, that will be handed over to you all. Anyone who is doing this at a pro level, again, this is not for you. If you feel that I know how to code everything, I know how to put this in trading view, then you know this. Okay, then it's not for you. Okay, so whatever I've learned, this is my honest effort to ensure that whatever I know, I am passing this knowledge to you all. Post webinar support, no, there will be no query solving per se post webinar. I don't have that a big team. So whatever doubts you have, you can ask during the webinar. The course recording is available for 7 days, so you can post your query in the portal. So there is a community learning, so your query can be answered by someone else who has attended it, but it's not on us that we will answer each and every query, because as I said, right, we are a pretty much lean team, and that is the reason why we may not be able to support each and every query. Okay, if we find time, we may queries. All right, I hope everyone is pretty much clear with all. Which course do you suggest if I want to learn trading? Oh, of course, technical analysis, price action analysis. These are the two best courses that you must enroll for. All right, I hope, is there any basic information needed before? Oh, yes, you should know some basics about technical analysis. That's what also I told. You can't say that, oh, I don't know what is RSI, I don't know what is a breakout. That will not help. You need to know such basic pointers, then you will be able to understand. Pine script which you are giving would enable us to arrive at proper. Yes, of course. Pine scripts will help you better your analysis for sure. No, the session is going to be live, but you will be handed over the recording for 7 days. You will get the access. Link will be there in the pinned comment in the description box. Okay. Thank you so much. I think I've taken all the questions. Oh, thank you so much for that. Abhishek is saying best course. Thank you. Uh, all right. With that, quickly, let me share some more insights. Uh, I'm sure everyone has seen that Indian rupee slipped to an all-time low, and the reason is very simple, right? The main trigger here is crude oil, and everyone knows that crude oil has reached to levels which very few people might have thought that it would reach to such a massive level. I'm just again quickly sharing my screen, and I'm showing this. Look at this USD INR at 93.65. This is pretty bad. If I were to quickly share UK oil also, you can see here, oh, nice, good wicks at least being formed. That shows some easing out. But still, crude at 110. Of course, it had reached 120 ke aspas, 119.33, right? So 109 is still pretty much high up. And whenever crude is so expensive, see, India imports 85 to 90% of crude, and when our crude bill is going to rise up so much, is going to heat up so much, we will have to pay more in dollars. More dollars payment is equal to we'll have to sell more rupees and gain more dollars. That is going to put a downward pressure on the Indian rupee, and that's the reason why we are seeing such a bad slide in the INR. Hopefully, when crude prices start to stabilize, that is when maybe our rupee will also start to stabilize. But big question is, when will crude oil start to stabilize? And for that, Mr. Trump. I was just reading through the news yesterday also that he publicly criticized NATO countries for not helping him in the war. He said that we feel that all the NATO countries should join. Few of the NATO countries should join. They should join into contribute to the efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But many of these countries said, this is not our war. We did not start it. We would not be in for this. And in return, Trump actually lashed out at them. And I don't know how he says this, but he is called NATO coward. US is also a part of all these things, right? So I don't understand on what lines he says that, but he has very openly called NATO countries as coward, and that's how now NATO versus USA also is happening. I'm sure everyone has been reading this in the news. uh, One more question that happened yesterday night. There were a lot of news over social media, especially Truth Social, where he has said that US is considering winding down the operations. Winding down is basically closing or reducing the war related operations. He says that yes, we are close to meeting our objectives. Only he knows what his objectives were. But all in all, there are so much mixed reactions, because at one point in time he's saying that he's winding down the war. Second time he's saying that he may still deploy troops, air force. That is happening right now. The troops are being deployed, aircrafts, naval forces. We can't see any immediate ceasefire per se, so the reactions are mixed. uh, the clarity is missing, and again, the moment there is lower quality, lesser clarity, things are not going to get better, is what we understand. On top of this, what happened was, if you've watched my Thursday live stream, you would have understood this, that uh, the US Fed has clearly said that we are hawkish. Hawkish means we are trying our level best to beat inflation, to control inflation. That is going to be our primary view, to keep or to ensure that inflation is in check. In fact, there are great chances that they in fact they've reduced the projected 2026 rate cuts from 2 to 1. So lower number of rate cuts is equal to, they are also anticipating that overall inflation can be on a higher side. So it's extremely important that we keep all these things in mind. See, whenever interest rates increase, then automatically what happens is bond yields also typically go up on a higher side, and that's where again it starts putting downward pressure on gold, which we have been seeing for the past few days, right? So everyone ensure that uh, you are keeping track of all these news. And for that, of course, what you can do is, you can, of course, I hope you have subscribed to the channel, you have also hit the bell icon. But that will help. So whenever I get to hear all these news, I try to ensure that whatever I read, whatever I understand, I try to put this up in small news pieces, either over Instagram or on YouTube. Okay, so that is it. I mean, this live stream was mainly resolve all your queries regarding technical analysis using AI webinar, which is going to happen tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The link to enroll, I'm going to give in the pinned comment description box. CRRYT is the coupon code that you can use. But I always say that just coming and talking about any webinar or course, I don't like it. I try to ensure that some different knowledge, some at least 3-4 important pieces of information at least I'm able to convey, and that's what we did today. And that is it about today's live stream. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye.